other live, but I just basically propped up my other phones, and then I could just keep continuing this. Honestly, I'm just trying to get into the practice of like learning how to stream. Like, I'm still learning. Yeah, I'm still learning. I think I was talking about this in like a couple streams of how it's definitely more difficult to make long form content than like short form content. But I think another step to that is like, I think streaming is harder than making long. Well, I think the act of making I don't know, because like editing and making like a long form video takes a lot of work and for it to be like entertaining. But for this, it's like hard to be, at least for me, to be entertaining for the entirety of the stream without the weight of having music to like back me up. But yeah, I figured since I still have like all this paint on my, oh my gosh, this should have been my thumbnail. Oh my gosh, I have that in an Argonaut like thumbnail. But since I have all this paint and I don't like wasting paint, I figured I should try to at least get as much as of this painting done as I can while I'm on stream. So we'll see. I might have like an hour in me or less than that. I don't know. I'm kind of just like going with the flow with this. And at first the hair, I was gonna make the hair like kind of like an afro or like loose curls. But then I feel like by doing that, I'm being like lazy. And the only reason why I feel like I'm being lazy is because I feel like it takes much less effort to paint curls or like an afro than it is braids. So I think I'm just gonna go with braids and hope for the best, because the point of this painting was to be like experimental, although I don't really feel like it's been that experimental besides making the snake red and painting a figure. Painting, I would say, like, even though I'm definitely way more comfortable painting a figure now, it's definitely still like a hurdle that I go through, or I guess a challenge in a sense, just because I know it's not like my strong suit. But yeah, I feel like everything else has kind of been like within my realm, so I need to branch off of that. And even though I said that I'm definitely still gonna redo the background, but I'm starting on the figure first because I realized how difficult it might be to try to paint the figure after I've done the background, especially if the background ends up really good. It's gonna make me skeptical on how I should paint the figure, in a sense. I will say, I don't know if it's just me, I feel like that head is amazing. Like, it's a little, yeah, I don't know. I feel like that head is amazing. Hold on. Let me like, I feel like I need to like back up a little bit. I stand by it. I like the head. I feel like I might need to like turn it around, like upside down. Hold on. Give me 1 second, guys. I need to like step back to look at my painting. Okay, I think I need to make the head slightly bigger, like I had in my sketch, and then I'll be satisfied with it. And if it's too big, I'll just make it smaller. But I do think it needs to be like slightly bigger compared to like the body that I have going so far. And so it was so funny because one of my friends had asked me, she was looking at this painting and she's like, "Where do you get your references from?" And I told her most of this is from the noggin. The only reference I used was I used the reference for like the figure, and I used a reference for the snake head. Cause I always get um it's hard for me to remember exactly how a snake head is supposed to look like. So that's the only time I used what's it called? A reference. I'm really trying hard not to use a reference for the background, but I kind of want to. But I just feel like that if I do, okay, I feel like I might be doing too much with the head now. I should stop messing with it. Okay, I'm gonna stop messing with the head before I like do too much and let it dry a little bit. But what was I going with? Yeah, I feel like if I start looking up references on what to do with the background, like for example, if I want some sort of nature scenery, if I still want to go for like an ethereal type of look, that it might influence too much on my painting. So I'm kind of just like digging in the noggin to see like what I can find, what I can find, and how I can like make something. I think I'm just gonna wing it and start making some like crazy designs and hope that it just starts looking good. I I don't think I've ever posted it, but I did. No, I think I did. Well, I don't know. I did like the Red Sea like separating, but I made it like what is that style called? Oh my gosh, I can't think of the style. It has like expressive brushstrokes, impressionism. Yeah, it was like an impressionistic like style, and low-key this was supposed to be that, but it's not. So maybe we can make the background that. And yeah, I just don't want to use a reference because at first I was like, okay, let's look at like impressionism, like background, not backgrounds, but like paintings. And I was like, oh no, it's gonna influence the way mine looks and influence the way I do like my brushstrokes, which I kind of want to find something that really speaks to like my style and something that's like, even though everything's kind of already been done in a sense, quote unquote, everything's kind of already been done in a sense. I think that I have to be kind of careful on how things can influence my painting. Like even I don't know, even just like getting uh, a nature photo online is like, man, what if I should just go outside? I should just but my problem is that I live in the desert. It's like cactus. Like I don't want to draw a cactus. Like no. But then also there's like a beautiful bush in the backyard. Hey. um there's like a bush in my backyard, and I was like, okay, like what if I put that in, but then I feel like it would be like too much going on. I've gotten that where like there's too much going on in my painting to even like focus on the element, but I kind of like the maximalism like type of paintings. Art objects. Art objects. What do you mean? I'm confused. Are you suggesting that I should use it for my inspiration? It could be. Or I could just like make, oh my gosh, this is dry. This is about to irritate me. I'm sorry, I'm just like adding I'm adding water to like my paint so it doesn't dry. Cause I don't plan on putting more paint on it. I just hate when I waste paint. That's like an extreme pet peeve, wasting paint. But yeah, I'm just kind of conflicted on how I should go about it. I think I'm still gonna do the cloud like kind of design. It's just not, imagine it but it doesn't look like this. Yeah. I'm thinking about like swirlies in a sense. Kind of like um have a map of Europe and see, but that would be like too much. Like if I had something like that, it would kind of take away from like the objective of the painting. Although that is a good idea. Like that would be a dope painting actually. But I think that's a painting that like that's like a standalone painting. Like imagine if you made it 3D and it's like um you know how you can look at the maps and you can see like the terrain? That would be pretty cool. That's how I'd like. But also, so like this, yeah. But then like I have this like this gold paint right here, and I think I should definitely utilize it more in the painting. So I think that might also be my thing. There's like too many different colors impacting. Retry. There's like too many different colors kind of clashing with each other. Which I'm definitely gonna have to look at like the color wheel and kind of figure out which colors would be better to go together. Like I think instead of like this purple, it should be like a blue. Cause I tried the blue and it wasn't. The blue looked much better, but I don't know why I went with purple. I think the reason why I went with purple is because when I was mixing the colors, I put a little bit too much magenta in it, and I just really liked the purple. I was like, oh my gosh, wow, I love purple. And when I put it on, it just kind of ruined what I had, like, going on. So, yeah. That's interesting. I wonder why they retracted their message. But oh my gosh, I just realized how difficult this hand is gonna be. Oof. Honestly, I was like kind of dreading like doing this hand because in the hold on. I have to like imagine myself doing it and how it would look. Because with the example, like it's not all in, it's not clear. It's not very clear, that's what I should say. So I'm definitely a little bit, I'm winging it right now, I'm not gonna lie. But I think this will work out. I'm kind of just like blocking it in right now, which is what I learned in my figure drawing class. And I think it's worked out for me so far. So I'm just gonna use that method again and hope that I think it's coming together actually. It's coming together much better than I was intending it to. Because this hand I'm still struggling with a little bit on how to make it like look properly. But also I don't think that it needs to be like super detailed just because it's really small. I think my only thing, I've already kind of established too much of a painting. I think I should have made the figure bigger. My only problem, well, honestly, I think if I made it bigger, it would still like, yeah, I think that was my only problem. I think I should have made it like bigger. Because now I'm like trying to create all these details, but it's like really small. Which is like interesting because I used to work smaller than this. So it's so weird that like after, I don't know, working on large scale paintings this summer, it's, I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing yet, that this feels small to me. And it's weird because I never thought that I would get to this point that I feel like a canvas is small to me. At least this size. Because I would say like a canvas is like small to me is like a notebook. I think a notebook is small. But this being small to me is like, it's weird. But I don't know if I actually feel like this is small or just because like the figure, but even the figure is much bigger than like I think I would have originally painted in the past. So it's different. Yeah, I'm just gonna say it's different. It's not what I'm like used to. So now I'm unsure how to deal with this problem. Although I do have like, I have this huge canvas. I'm pretty sure it's taller than me. It's definitely taller than me. If not like the same height as me. Oh, I'm not gonna lie. I'm like really intimidated by that one. Just because like I don't really have a lot of big brushes. Which is kind of, I don't know. I feel like that might be problematic, so I'm definitely gonna have to buy some bigger brushes. Cause like if you look at like the type of brushes that I have, they're pretty like small. And I don't know if you guys saw like my short that I made earlier today. Was it earlier today? It might have been yesterday or a couple days ago. But I just uploaded it today. That I feel like this painting is taking much longer for me to finish than like a large scale painting. But I don't know if that's just like all in my head and it's actually not taking as long. Or if it's actually taking longer because it requires me to use, I think it's almost like more effort in a sense, trying to capture small details on like, and the thing is like this figure's not even small. I just think I don't know, it's like, it's the face is definitely gonna be really hard for me to like capture any type of detail without like a super small brush. And I feel like although I have small brushes, this is what I'm using. And I'm like, okay, how am I gonna do this face? I feel like I haven't gotten the like secret sauce on like making a good face yet. Like I'm still working on that. At least to me, I'm still working on that. I know there's like people who like the faces that I make, but I'm definitely, it's still like a work in progress. Like even now, this is not what I envisioned. And I fear I might have to restart like this entire face. Not the entire face, just like, you know what? I'm gonna go back to like what they taught and just sculpt it out and hope for the best. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna sculpt it out. And okay, so we got like the cheekbones, the nose, the mouth is right here, but I think I'm gonna have the mouth like opened. Oh my gosh, it looks so crazy. It looks crazy up close. I don't know how it like looks on stream because it's kind of small. And then like there's like an indent like from right here, from where your eyebrow is. Yeah, I'm just gonna carve it and hope for the best. I think so far carving it looks kind of scary, but it's fine. It's getting the job done. Because if I think about it too much, it's not gonna get done. Oh my gosh, hold on. I'm like covering the shadows, which is kind of the point of like carving it out. Can you guys even see like my hands are like kind of in the way? but it's kind of hard to see since the paint is like glaring a little bit. Actually, I think this is gonna work out. I kind of like how the face is looking already. I definitely kind of don't want to put like, I don't know if y'all can see like where the dot of like white is. That's kind of where like the eyes are gonna go. So I don't want to work too much on that area before like adding a darker value. I think I'm gonna wait for the paint to dry a little bit so then I can work that in. And then at first, right, I've decided to not be lazy. I'm gonna make some braids on her because at first I was just gonna do like an afro and call it a day. Because usually when I make afros, it low-key takes like no effort. Actually, hold on. That's kind of eating. I'm like messing with it. Okay. I do want to make... Wait, hold on. This is actually turning out much better than I anticipated. I will not even lie to you guys. I know I said I was gonna wait for it to dry, but I'm going for it now. And it'll be fine. Like my professor said, I can't paint scared, so I just have to get it done, pretty much. I still haven't quite gotten the neck right yet, or like this area, so I still need to work a little bit more on this. I'm also, so I definitely like the values that are going on, but I think I might want to add a little bit more of like a warmer tone or go over it a little bit more just to, I don't know if it's just me, it's definitely looking like stylized, and I want it to look a little bit more realistic in a sense, so it's more of like a surrealism piece. I don't know, like a surrealism and an impressionism mix type of deal. So like an impressionistic background, but the figure is kind of semi-realistic, but it's not giving realistic right now. I will figure that problem out later. But yeah, so I'm just, and I think with the braids, I'm not just gonna have them like hang down. I think I want them to do like little crazy things. Not like crazy things, but like what's the word? I don't know. I just want it to be like super dynamic and like move around and make the painting more visually interesting, as if it's not like with this with the snake and like the little star thing that's gold. And I think I finally realized what I think is missing. I think that this gold has to be in the background as well. I think the fact that it's only here and nowhere else is problematic. I also haven't decided on if I'm going to keep this as a, if I'm gonna make it a leotard or have her stomach showing. I'm kind of going towards the route of having her stomach showing, but I'm not. The thing is, like, I'm not exactly sure how to make the leotard more interesting. Or maybe it doesn't necessarily need to be, like, interesting. Because then it might take away from the piece. Yeah, see, you get the vision. It just makes it more interesting. That's why I decided, I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna be lazy. I'm gonna do the braids. But now I'm just stuck on like if she's gonna have a two-piece, if it's gonna be a leotard, and if it's gonna be a solid color. I think I'm just gonna make it a solid color. and possibly maybe I can add the gold into the leotard and the background. We'll see. I was thinking of like you know, like the splashing effect with like paint. The only thing, this gold paint is kind of strange. Like it kind of turns colors when you add water in it. It almost turns into like a green. So I don't know if I'm gonna have to scratch that idea or not. But yeah. And then I haven't decided on how I want the colors. I'm definitely getting rid of the purple. Like the purple is gone. We're not doing no more purple in the background. It clashes with too many of the colors, and I thought it would look good, but it doesn't. I still kind of want to keep like the pink and the green because that was kind of like the original mindset. Like I wanted to really try pink and green together. I think I'm just going to make the green a different green. So I went through a bunch of different pastel greens, and all of them were kind of lackluster. So maybe I should try using a different type of blue to like achieve that color. Because even like this, I like it, but I don't love it. So I'm not too sure. And then as far as like the values, I think I'm either just going to use, I don't really want to use like a really dark pink because I've already done that in a painting. So either like a dark green or some sort of like navy bluish color that's like a neutral. So it doesn't take too much away from like whatever's going on from like the different colors. Because when I originally had like a bluish green right here and stuff, it actually looked way better than the purple, but I just got so drawn to like, I just liked how vibrant and pretty the purple was, and then I put it on the canvas and I thought it was going to look better once I put it on, and it just didn't. So I'm taking the L on that one for now. Okay, I think the eye would be like here. I'm just gonna like, I'm still trying to like sculpt it out before I add too much detail on the face. Yeah, okay. I'll figure out the face later. Not, this might be like a thing for like later, not today. Okay, I say that and then I'm going back in because like now it's like bothering me. Okay, it's fine. I think I'm gonna start on the hair now. Let me think. Ooh, I'm gonna do the stomach, whatever. If I don't like it, I'll just paint over it. I've been pretty much winging it with like all of the other colors anyway. Like I don't actually know how the values look in the reference because I don't have the reference, but also the painting itself is gonna have different values because of like the light source and how it's like hitting it. So I kind of just went with what I know, how like certain shadows hit the body. It might not be like completely accurate, but it's accurate enough from my mind. Let me like make the hair. The head right here is like kind of flat, and I don't want to be flat. I think that's fine. Okay, so I am gonna do the stomach area. And basically for the entire body, I've just been using 3 colors. And then I'll decide to add more if I change my mind. Which I think I am. I do kind of want to add like another value. Like a warmer value. Like I'm either going to add blue or I'm going to add yellow to make it either more warm or more cool. And I think it's interesting how many shades that you can get with just 3 colors, because this is also what I used for the snake, which I find to be very interesting. So yeah, I basically used the same palette for the snake and for the figure. I feel like I should be doing a short of this too, but I'm on live right now and my other phone is dead. And I'm actually surprised that I'm actually being productive on here. Because I don't know if y'all have seen my other streams. Usually I get like nothing done. I'll have like a super small section painted and I'll be like, alright guys, after streaming for 2 hours. But my first stream that I did, like, so I'm basically, these streams are like back to back. So like right now I think I'm at the 2-hour mark. And basically I did this, the head, this arm, this hand, kind of. I kind of did the hand. And then I was like, oh, I don't want it to look muddy, so I haven't touched it. And yeah, I think that's it. So yeah, I'm still like, I don't know, I kind of like how stylized it looks. Oh, this is, I hate being indecisive. This is too much. Especially since like usually I have usually I do like a sketch. Well, that's what I've been doing like recently. I've been making like a little sketch. And this one I didn't make a sketch. I just like thought about it and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it right now. Thank you. Ooh, how long have I been working on this piece? I feel like it's been like 5 days. But it hasn't been 5 days consistently. I think like consistently wise, maybe 4 or like 3 days. I'm not too sure. Cause let me think. I painted it yesterday. Well, I painted some of it yesterday, so I did like the background yesterday, but I'm not messing with the background. The snake is actually not finished, but I'm glad that you like it. Basically, I just need to like add in the eyes and like a little bit of some brighter and darker values with the snake. I basically kind of used what I did in my last painting. Hold on, let me show you my last painting of like snakes and stuff. It happens to be, oh no, hold on. Because the box that it's laying on is falling over. Okay, this is like one of the last paintings I did, and I did like huge snakes and like a sword and stuff. I should make prints of this one. I don't know why I don't have prints of this one on my, I don't think I have prints of this one on my website, but yeah, I don't know if you guys can like see like kind of like the texture that I added in. This is definitely one of my favorite recent paintings. And then like if you look at the side, I actually did some like designs on the side. I didn't do the other side because I got lazy, so like don't don't mind that. But when it does sell, then I'll do the other side. But yeah, I have that painting up for sale on my website. But I did something like new on that painting. Oh, thank you. I I basically added like kind of like the scales, like the darker values to like the type of like what's the word, like print on the snake, I guess. And I did it with like the red because I've most of the snakes that I've made were like green, so I was like, no, let's make like a red snake. That would be like really cool. And I think the difference between this one and that one's an oil painting and this one's acrylic. And the only reason why I'm not using oil is because we're in the midst of like moving, so I don't want to be like moving wet paint. But at the same time, I can always change my mind and put oil over it, which is what I did. I did that with like a bigger painting that I did. I put oil over it. I also made like a fallen angel, and I did it all in acrylic, and then I put oil over it, which is what I usually do. I think the difference between like my oil and my acrylic paintings is that I spend a lot of time planning my oil ones just because I'm low-key still afraid of oil. Like, I feel like making a mistake with oil is much more harder to fix than like acrylic. Acrylic like dries in 2 seconds and I just paint over it. Like it wasn't even there. But I feel like with oil, I don't know, I'm just not I'm definitely more comfortable with the medium after like working with it for a while, but I'm definitely not as like comfortable with it as I am with acrylic, which is why I have like I think I have just as much oil paint as I do acrylics. But yeah, I just feel like it's very difficult for me to like switch lanes whenever I'm using oil. And a lot of people who like would argue like, oh, just wipe it off, and it's just like even that is like if I don't have the right equipment to like dispose of like things that I'm wiping off of the canvas, then it's just like a lot of steps. Even when I was using the paints, not even the paint, it was like the paint thinner, and I had all these paper towels. Like, what am I gonna do with it? Like, I was like, my trash can is gonna explode and catch on fire. So it's like a different type of stress level using that compared to like using acrylic paint. You just add water and like you're good. I don't know. Hold on. I'm trying to fix how the stomach looks, but it'll be fine. I'm kind of on like this trust the process, even though I was like crashing out not too long ago about how the painting was looking. Like, I don't think it looks bad. I hate wasting paint. I cannot stand wasting paint. It just makes me really upset. Like, for example, okay, so you see these these three colors. I've got some oil paint, but I'm afraid to use them. They're so, no, for real. Like, the only reason I got comfortable with my quotations, with using oil paint is because of my oil painting class that I took. So I kind of I definitely have more of an idea of how to use it in the rules and like how to dispose of things. Although it's much easier in a classroom because the trash cans are right there, like the disposable trash cans. I don't have disposable trash cans. But back to the paint. Okay, so you see these, right? So I have like titanium white and burnt umber and cadmium red. Okay, so these colors are like these two are like the same price. Like the tubes I get can range anywhere from like 10 to 20 depending on the brand. Usually I buy heavy body, so it's a little bit more expensive. This red, I want to be super like light-handed, although there's still a lot of red and I haven't used a lot of it, and I'm like the tube was like 40 or $50. Oh. Like, just thinking about it, I'm not mentally prepared to buy another tube of red when I run out. That's, yeah. But honestly, since you already have like oil paint, I would just like, I know this like kind of like contradictory, but I'm saying like I would just use it because like um I think the easiest way to do it without like worrying about like things blowing up in your face because of like the toxins and blah blah blah. I would just try to do it like a la prima style, and like if you can do it in like a small canvas and do it all in one session, but just paint out the tube. Even though paint out the tube is like super uh not, it's not everyone's cup of tea to use paint straight out the tube. Maybe do another painting but with red fruits or something. Yeah, like, because for me, I think oil paint, like, it's much easier for me to use it when it's straight out the tube because I'm not thinking about all of the other elements. Linseed oil is also fine too. That's not going to blow up in your face. At least from what I know. But usually I start off with the paint straight out the tube. I don't add anything, and I just kind of go on like, I just use like I use thin amount, like a thin amount, and kind of just like kind of scrub it in, and then I go over it again. And then let's say you wait like a day or two and it dries up a little bit, then you would add like your linseed oil or whatever oil you're using. Like when I did my oil painting at home, at first I was using paint thinner. No, I changed, like I stopped using paint thinner after I didn't know how to dispose of it, and all the disposal places were like a bajillion miles away. And I was like, okay. And so I was just holding on to paper towels that had like paint thinner on it, and I was like, man, this is like, and I think paint thinner, well, the one that I was using, like Gamsol, is much safer than turpentine, but all I had was turpentine. I didn't realize that Gamsol was like safer than like turpentine. I think it's because like Gamsol, it takes like 144 degrees for it to like combust or like be ignited kind of deal. But turpentine, I think it's like 94 degrees. It's like 94 degrees. Like I live in Arizona. It gets like 120 degrees. So, and the only reason why I bought turpentine is because my professor said to buy turpentine, but he's very like he's like the older generation, so they use all the toxic stuff. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Because I know my friend, I remember she was very like adamant. She's like, I am not getting oh, 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 did you not know? Oh my gosh. I think I might have I hope I didn't make your fears worse. Okay. I didn't know it combust either until my professor said that like once someone they like threw away something in the trash can that they weren't supposed to throw away. Probably something that had like paint thinner on it, and they said their trash can caught on fire. And that was like at the school. I don't think it was at like my school. I think it was at like a different school he was teaching at, or maybe he was like a student at. But yeah, he said the trash caught on fire. So I was like super paranoid on like how I should like deal with the paper towels that I had. So yeah, that's my TED talk. But also there's like tons of videos online on how to like oil paint in your home without using like paint thinner. I think there are some videos that say like, oh my gosh, you have to use paint. You don't have to use paint thinner. I don't. Those people are like who say you have to use paint thinner. They're kind of dense. I'm just gonna say, yeah, they're kind of dense. So, at least in my opinion, I don't think you like have to use it. I think it just makes it a little bit easier. No, I didn't realize that the environment temp could possibly affect your. Yeah, it really can. I think it's a little bit more like concerning, especially in Arizona, because like it gets really hot. So I was just like, kind of worried. Like even like how you keep your paint thinner, it should be in like some sort of like glass or metal container. Actually, I've never seen it held in a metal container. So maybe glass. I've always seen it being held in glass containers. So I'm just gonna say that because I keep mine in a glass container. It's like somewhere in like my front living room, but yeah, it's in a glass container, far away from any sort of heat source, so it doesn't like combust. But I even saw like a creator. She says that she puts all of her like linseed oil, her Gamsol, all in like a metal box. So just in case it does, it's in a metal box and it won't like, you know, take down the house or the school or wherever she's at. Which made me think I need to buy a metal box. So that'll be my next purchase. I'm gonna buy a metal box because I don't have one and I feel like I should have one. Okay, this is not too bad. Yeah, I think like obviously you shouldn't have to worry about it just like combusting when you use it, as long as like your environment isn't hot or you're like not painting next to a stove. I hope you wouldn't paint next to a stove. But also there's like, I don't know, I feel like there's all these like interesting facts and like danger things about like painting. Like for example, I knew that like oil paint is like really bad to get on your hands, but I'm not like a person that likes to wear gloves, so I'm not going to. But for example, this red paint, when it gets on my hands, I start panicking. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna get cancer and like it's over. Because like this like red paint is super toxic. Honestly, any pure cadmium color is toxic, or cobalt, and like lead whites. There's a couple of other colors, I just can't think of them off the top of my head. I just know that and cadmium, like with like anything. So it doesn't have to be oil paint. It could be like acrylic, so like this. Super toxic. I don't know if the like fake version of it is also toxic. Let me see if I have an example. Okay. Actually, I do have an example. This is interesting. Okay. So this would be like the fake version. So you see how it, well, if it focuses, please don't embarrass me. But it says like Q right here. So it says like cadmium red medium Q, which means it's not made from like the real material. At least that's kind of how I was explained to. I don't know if that's like the exact terminology, but basically this is like a cheaper version of this. So also the series will make it more expensive. So like remember when I showed y'all the titanium white and the burnt sienna? That's a series 1, which is why it's like 10 to 20, and this is a series 4. So it can really range from like 40 to 60, but I've seen some cadmium reds as much as like $70. And this is just for the acrylic. I don't know how much it is for, well, I don't remember how much it was for the small tube of oil that I bought, because the damage was, I just didn't think about it. So yeah, this is like the stuff you don't want to get on your hands. And even like on the back, it has like it says like the pigment. I'm sorry y'all, I'm like trying to have it like load, but it's not loading. And it'll say like it has like a warning on it, and basically the warning says exposure may cause harm to developing fetus. Yeah, cautious, avoid. I have some that say like causes cancer if you like get this on your hands. Let me see which one. Is it this one? Actually no, this one doesn't have any like warning. This is like purple. I definitely have one that has a warning on it, but I can't remember which one it was. Is it the ultramarine? Probably not. Well, I'm not sure. I'll probably show y'all in a different stream, but there's definitely one that was just like, it'll cause this, this, and this if you get it on your hands. And it was like a color I didn't really expect. So that kind of like threw me for a loop. But I would say that rule is pretty consistent throughout acrylic, watercolor, gouache. I would even assume like oil pastels. But also I don't work with oil pastels, so I'm not exactly sure. I need to like clean off my brush. Wait, hold on. Yeah, that's why like I don't know if you ever see like people like creators that will like wear gloves when they paint. Usually you'll see that with like oil painters because it's like like more dangerous to work with oil because like not only are you like worried about the getting paint on your hands and it like soaking into your skin, but you're also worried about the fumes, so you have to like open up a window and stuff. Like my turpentine says it's odorless, but it definitely has a smell. So I don't know who they're lying to. Is it my... Yeah, I don't know who they're lying to about like odorless. Not me. I can definitely smell it. I'm trying to like clean off my brush because my paint dried on it a little bit. And I've messed up a handful of acrylic brushes letting the paint dry on the brush, which is why I don't buy expensive acrylic paintbrush. I actually use separate paint brushes for each medium. I'll use acrylic and watercolor as the same brush, but I won't use acrylic brushes and oil paint on the same brush. My oil painting brushes are like significantly more expensive than my acrylic brushes. It's just because it's so easy to damage an acrylic brush compared to like a brush that's used for oil paint, because since oil paint takes so long to dry, you have like a much more like a longer window to make sure that your brush is properly cleaned. But like this brush, it's already kind of like it's gone through the ringer, to be honest. Like I don't know if y'all can like, it's definitely gone through the ringer. Like you can see like the bristles are like kind of doing that type of thing. Like I didn't touch my brush for 2 minutes and it starts drying. I feel like I'm not gonna be able to use all this paint that's like on the canvas. Because it's like, what time is it? Let me see. If this phone is not already dead. It's 10:57. We'll see. I might go like 30 more minutes, give or take. Although I don't think I'm gonna be able to use all this paint in 30 minutes. But I guess we'll see. Let me start on the hair. I'm not gonna lie. I've been stalling with the hair because I'm kind of nervous a little bit. I just don't really know how I want it to look. But then I'm thinking about too much. So I'm just gonna make a bunch of them. And hopefully it doesn't look crazy. Well, obviously it'll look crazy at first, but it'll be fine. Okay, let's do something like that. And then if I decide to make it longer, I can always make it... Oh my gosh, it looks so crazy. It looks like if she like slicked back her hair and then she just has like a little... Okay. This is not too bad, but also I'm gonna darken the values. But like I said, I'm just kind of cautious about the amount of paint I use because I just hate being wasteful. But I know what was also something interesting that I learned. And this was on like YouTube University. This was like nobody told me, and it was about oil painting because I felt like even though I got more comfortable with oil painting in my class, I wasn't like I felt like I was treating oil paint like I treat acrylic. I don't know if that makes sense, but oh my gosh, the glare on this is like terrible. But yeah, I feel like I was using oil paint like acrylic, and I was like, I feel like it wasn't looking like how other people use it. And then I watched this guy. I wish I could remember his name. Yeah, I wish I could remember his name. But like literally, he's like, guys, your oil paintings aren't looking the way you want it to look because you're not using enough paint. And I was like, what do you mean? I was actually so like gagged. I think that's why. So I have this really big angel painting, and I feel like the reason why it looks so good is because I used like a lot of paint, like a lot of oil paint. So I think if I didn't watch that, and I feel like it did make the paint process easier, but I definitely started with like a super thin layer of oil paint and then kind of built my way up and started just like using big globs of oil paint. So I hope it doesn't crack. I'm a little scared that it might crack, but only time will tell. I really hope I did like the fat over lean correctly, but I'm not too sure. That's kind of how I feel about like these two paintings that I did earlier too during the summer. Like I really hope that they don't crack, but if they do, it's fine. Like it's just kind of like the way of the world, I guess. Let's see. Oof, I think I'm thinking about too much. Yeah, I'm definitely thinking about how this hair is going to. Ooh, I should definitely have it going over the arms. Because like, yeah. At first I was like, no, I'm not gonna have it going like over the body, but I think it would make sense because then you have like the hair interacting with the body instead of just like the hair, body, and whatever else is going on. That's kind of how I'm thinking. I'm sorry that I'm so quiet. I'm like deeply focusing on making sure that this is like looking right the first time because well, obviously I'm gonna have to go over it and make like the actual like braid style thing. But I'm kind of just like paying attention on how I want them to be stacked. I haven't figured out how I want it to be stacked. So this is a little bit intimidating. I don't know if I should have one going. You know what? Why not? Okay, hold on. Let me think. Because it could go down. I don't know if going up would. It doesn't necessarily have to make sense though. I think it's so interesting because I remember once I was watching back one of my lives, like briefly, and just oh wait, hold on, I didn't even see this. This hair wrapping around her arms. Exactly. See? Yeah. Um it's so weird thinking about like the process that I go through when I'm painting and to be live. Also going through the process of what I'm thinking about. I'm like, okay, what are we gonna do? Because I don't want to make it like too like the placement on the head. I don't want to make it too random because I'm gonna have to make the parts. And if the parts are looking crazy, then like, yeah. So I'm like, okay, how am I gonna have it stacked? How I kind of have an idea of. Obviously, the hair is gonna be like kind of loose and wavy and stuff. But I haven't even like figured out how many braids. But I'm thinking like jumbo braids and not too many, but like just enough so it doesn't look like she's bald headed. I think I'll start with the back and then kind of work each layer. Let's see. Because right now it's giving noodles, but it's fine. It'll work out. Do a little this. Oh my gosh, I think I should even have it like kind of roll on itself. Like, hold on. Kind of like, wait. I think it'll work out. Once we put all the hair there, it'll look right. I need to take a step back. Hold on. I'm new here. Oh my gosh, hey. I'm good. How are you? Wait, are there any rules? Rules as into what? I don't exactly like. I'm like new at this, so I don't know what you mean by rules. I just kind of chill here and I paint and talk about life experiences in college and art. Rules. I never really thought about that. Do other streamers have like rules for their chats? Like obviously there's like restricted words, but like rules? I'm a little like confused. But then again, I'm also like new at this, so like I've been making short form content for a while. I meant like stuff like no spelling, swearing, or inner. No, I don't really care, to be honest. Cause I swear, so I don't know. I just don't like. I don't swear that often, so it's not like, but I do. I'm just enjoying her. Yeah, I just be chilling. I don't know. Yeah, no, there's nothing like off the top of my head. I think as long as like people aren't bullying each other in the chat, like I think you're cool then. Although I do think like a little debate, that would be like, we should have a debate day, guys. But I feel like that'll be like, that's also, thank you. I actually have not decided on like a name. Usually I don't figure out a name for my paintings until like it's done, unless there was a painting name and I already went into the painting with like a name. I don't know if that makes sense. But yeah, I feel like for the most part my paintings usually don't get names until I'm finished. And then I have to sit and think about like what the name's gonna be. Which will probably be for this one. This one's definitely supposed to be a little bit more experimental. Although experimental is being used very loosely right now because it doesn't look like a lot of my other artwork, but it kind of does. Like the background does. A lot of my artwork doesn't really have people in it because I'm afraid of like drawing people and painting them. And after taking my figure drawing class, I've gotten way more comfortable drawing people. Hold on, let me see what you said. I get it. Always cave. Oh no. Well, it's absolutely. Thank you. Not you caving. No, you gotta stand on business. Like the debate would be lighthearted, I think, but that would probably be like something more like, I don't know, when there's like when there's more people like in the chat. But also I know that like I like when people like comment in the chat because then it makes it like easier for me to like interact with you guys. What would you debate about? Probably like art, like different art styles, art mediums. I don't know. That's what I can think off of the top of my head right now. Maybe even like different surfaces to paint on, like kind of like what everyone's tier list is. I'll probably do it like something super random. Like what's everyone's like tier list for fruit? Like it would be like real random. But about like the, cause I've watched, that could be, yeah, it would be like super like, I don't know, fun. I'm just like, I'm trying to get used to streaming, which is why I don't necessarily have like a stream schedule. I kind of just stream when I have time. But like when at school starts back, which is soon, also oranges are on top. I can get behind that. I think oranges are really good. Would I say that they're S tier? Grapes. Or I think there's a couple things that I have like over oranges. But or like debating colors. Oh my gosh. I remember I like said something on TikTok and a whole community of people who like this color was like super, they were really upset with me. So yeah, but I do plan like when I am back into school, which will be pretty soon, to have like more of like a schedule of when I go live, because I'll kind of like have my classes and then like go live whenever I have like the time to. But now I'm just doing it whenever I have free time, and my work schedule is kind of like all over the place. So yeah, I really want to do like content creation and art. So I feel like the only way, not the only way, but like I also want to be able to interact with my community. And a lot of people tell me to do like Twitch because the like the chatting culture is like better on there, but I personally like YouTube better. Even though like I guess like their chatting experience isn't like as great as Twitch. But probably during the school year, I don't know if I'll like dual streamer. Maybe, I'm not too sure. I don't know. I just really like the YouTube community and like I don't know the community that I've grown on here. So yeah, YouTube for life, honestly. Um, let me see. This is just because, yeah, I would say it's definitely more like comfortable. Also, I would have to like, it's not like even. I just feel like YouTube is just more user friendly. Like using Twitch is just like using Twitch on the phone is like kind of fine. Like I've streamed on Twitch like from my phone, but I just stream on YouTube way more than I stream on Twitch because I've always wanted to be like a YouTuber. And I don't know. I just feel like Twitch is like super oversaturated. Yeah, especially since now, same like YouTube better can be. Yeah, I don't know. I just had like the chatters that I did have. It was like a certain type of community that I wasn't sure that like. I don't. Yeah, they're like. That's all I'm gonna say. Like I don't know. It's something I'm like gonna have to like mentally prepare for. It's kind of like I don't know. My communities are like kind of different on each platform. I would say like the general basis of like the people that follow me, I say is probably between like 13 to 25. But then also I have like a community on Facebook that's like an older like range of people. Okay. They might have been. I'm just gonna say that they might have been. I don't know. It's just like, I know I would never stream on Kick. I know that. Like, I don't even have it like downloaded. Like, I wouldn't stream on there. But like Twitch, I think if I did stream on Twitch, it would be dual streaming. So I would already be streaming on YouTube and then I stream on Twitch. But I don't think I would just like if I had to choose a platform, I would choose YouTube. I like making videos. I like making shorts. I like I don't know. I just like the community better. It's just like a different vibe. Like you said, yeah, they're. They're, and okay, weird is not even like a bad thing because I'm like weird. This horrible place. It's like Twitter. Oh. It is. Maybe that's why I don't want to. I don't know. Just like the type of people that stream on Kick, they're a little questionable. So I was like, I don't know. I just feel like if I did stream on Kick, I would be like associated with the type of people that also stream on there, and I just don't want. I would much rather not be associated with like, I don't know, the type of people that are like on there. But yeah, I'm guessing I've seen what comes off of Kick. I've heard of Kick, but and different apps. Wait, hold on. Yeah, I remember when like Kick used to be like a messaging app thing. And then like someone that I know, like she has Kick, and she showed me the app. It looks just like Twitch. It was like scary. I was like, dang, y'all have no creativity. Like it looked just like although like some of the applications were kind of different, but for the most part, like if you just didn't see the name, it looked just like the same thing. Like the two places. Yeah, Twitch, like, yeah, basically that's basically what it was when I saw it. I was like, oh my gosh, it's like the same. But I don't know, I'm just trying to get used to like streaming because I find it like much easier to stream and I get much more relaxed when people are chatting. But when there's people not chatting, then I'm like kind of just like which is not a bad thing because I also don't edit my VODs after. I don't know if I should. I think like eventually I'll get there. It's just like since this is so new to me, I'm just kind of learning each step of the way through the process. Especially since I want to get into long form content and like I say I'm gonna do art vlogs, but I feel like it's much more manageable for me to do a stream than like an art vlog. Let me see what you said. Yeah, I think like I feel like this like my streams over time have gotten better, but I've only been like streaming consistently for probably the past like month, and even then it's like here and there. But for like when school starts, I'm thinking like I want to stream like at least 4 times a week. Especially since like if I have like goals and stuff that I want to meet, then I have to be like consistent on like the things that I like want for myself. But yeah, I'm like juggling all this stuff. Like I was working on my website and who's sing it first? I feel that because I think it's actually okay. It does make it easier when there's people watching, but like, have you seen the TikTok where it'll be like, hey, and it'll be like one person, and then it'll be like 0. I'll be like, okay, should I keep talking or like? But then I remember that it uploads as a VOD, so I'm like, okay. Usually, what I see for my live streams, usually if people aren't in it at the moment, people end up going back and watching the video. So I try to even talk through it even when there's nobody watching, because sometimes my system is like kind of slow, so it might not actually like load that there's people like watching, especially since like it's not like I can play music. Like I think that's kind of a good thing though, because if I was like playing music while I was doing this, because I would do it on TikTok, I'd like play music and the music would like carry the stream. Yeah, I don't know. I just want to be like entertaining, and I know I'm entertaining for short form, but yeah, this is like nerve-wracking. I think this is definitely the longest that I've streamed, because before this stream I did another stream where I was talking about like the college experience and if I think it's worth it. And I think it depends. I think college is only worth it when you're not in like $100,000 of debt. I just don't want to be like boring. I don't think I could ever be one of those streamers that like stream for like 10 hours. I just don't see myself being entertaining for 10 hours unless it's like a stream with other people. Although I don't really foresee that in my future unless it's like with other artists. That would be kind of interesting. Do you have to learn shading or did you already know how? I'm struggling. I think the easiest way to learn, I think for the most part, I learned shading on my own, but I would say that there was a professor that told me that I need to push my values more. So let's say, I assume if you're struggling with shading that you probably have too many mid-tones. So either you need to add more darker values. Like for example, I would say this is probably the darkest value on my person, but I'm going to add like a darker value to kind of push the more realistic look on my person. But I kind of struggle with that too, with having too many mid-tones. Like even this is kind of a little bit too like mid-tony. I don't know if that's a word, but I just made it up. But I would recommend adding more darker values and more lighter values to make your shading better. But also I think the easiest way to shade is to do shading on like shapes and kind of doing like you know how like how shadows fall, making sure that your shadows are like really dark in the center and they kind of feather out, so it kind of has that realism aspect. I've also heard that to make something more realistic, it should probably consist of 4 or 5 shades. I think. Don't take my word on that. But if you notice things are looking too similar to shade, darken or lighten a value. That's my recommendation. Yeah. I'm trying to think like how I like, I don't know. I was just like, I was experimenting a lot. Like I remember one of my professors were saying, so, well, since well, I would say like what's new is I'm honestly really excited for school to start back up. Like, like I'm real excited for like, I don't know. A lot of my friends are not excited, but I am, just because I know I have a lot of painting classes and I have an idea of how like the content will look. So I'm not only am I like, is that college? I personally think it's fun. My friends would have other opinions. I don't think my general classes are fun. Well, it depends. Some of the professors are really fun, but I think that like my art classes, minus one that I had like freshman year. Oh my gosh, he sucked. He sucked real bad. But most of my art classes are really fun. I like the people that are in it, and I like the dynamic of like bouncing ideas off of other people. I also like when my professors are really blunt, but they're like, they give really good constructive criticism. Like I had one, my painting professor, I've only taken one painting class so far. I wish I've taken more, but yeah, I've only taken one so far. But the following semester that I'm going into, I'm taking 2, so I'm super excited. But my professor that I took the painting class with, he was really blunt, like extremely blunt. He would use me as an example, like in class. And low key, like, I know most people probably wouldn't like that, but I was just like, I don't know, it's something that like, it gives me drive. I'm like, I'm gonna prove you wrong because I cannot believe you just embarrassed me. Although I would take his class again. Like I can't. Yeah, literally. I just love a blunt person. But I would say his advice was super helpful on some of the things he would say. Like sometimes he would grab my painting and he would be like, "This is off centered." He's like, "Look." He's like, "Look." He's like, "You don't think it's off centered?" He's like, "Look at this." And I was like, "It is off centered." Or he would be like, "You just wasted all of this space." Like, let's say for example, right? Let's say like right here. I don't know if y'all can see. You see how like there's no snake after like my hand? He would say like all of this is wasted space. And he'd be like, this needs to be like cut. Like we just need to take some scissors and like cut it off. And I'm like, okay, sir, like chill out. Or I remember once, although this one girl, she said that he made her cry once, which is probably like a couple years ago. Although I personally really liked him. A lot of my friends really liked him. He was like an old professor, and low key he was just doing it for like fun. Like he was just being a professor for fun, just because he had nothing else to do. And I don't know. For me, I don't know if this is like judgy. Well, it's definitely judgy. So before I take classes with professors, I usually look at their art and I see if they're in galleries. And I also see the type of, well, not all of the professors I've had are gallery artists. Some of them are muralists and they're also pretty amazing. But I look to see like if they're in galleries, how good their work is, if I think that they can actually teach me. I don't know if that makes sense, because I've had like uh, um, a professor and he was like a contemporary artist. Honestly, don't get me started because it was that class was like a major waste of time. Like I'm not. It was a major waste of time and money. I would be a professor. I would be like, yeah, like I always told myself that like even though this is like what I want to do, I would definitely be a professor. Like I just think it would be so fun to like live stream in class and like I would have people do like crazy projects. Like it would just be like so out there and like silly. Like I don't know. I just think it would just be like such a fun class. But he was low key like that. Like although like for colleges usually there's certain curriculum that you're like supposed to teach, and he was one of those people that just like really hated still lifes, although we still had to do one in class. And I really hope, oh my gosh, I really hope our like my next painting class we're not sitting doing still lifes the entire class, the entire like semester. That would really upset me. I'm like sick and tired of doing still lifes. But he would have us do like still lives and he would be like totally okay with me like adding elements. Like I would add like animals or like a galaxy or something like that. And I think a lot of professors are um I don't like a professor that's boxed in, and he just wasn't. He also I think I was talking about this in my last stream. He would literally like crash out. I remember he told us to do something, right? And keep in mind we all have like the same sketch pad. It's like an 18 by 20 sketch pad. It's pretty large. I think it's like imagine this size. Yeah, the paper's like this size. So we all brought out our papers and we were drawing something, right? Oh my gosh, this man started crashing out. He's like, are you guys artists? He's like, why would you guys like box yourself in by using the same, by not even picking the size of like your paper? He's like, you guys could have cut it. You could have used a smaller paper. He's like, who said it needed to be that big? And I was like, like he was actually like really gagged. Like he was like offended. I was like, okay, sir, calm down. Like I think you're a little cranky this morning. But yeah, he would be like, man, guys, it sounds like a morgue in here. And then he would start reading like out loud. He's like, I'm gonna chew you guys up. He was, I don't know. I just love a person that's like a little crazy, like a professor. I don't know. They're just so interesting. He definitely made the class interesting. Oh, that's what I'm saying. I was like, oof, my. But no, okay. I think from there it made me more like not wanting to create. Like I think he just wanted us to do more. Like although he had asked us, he didn't give us a guideline of like um I guess the size or the shape or like color or anything. Like for example, we did like a single line drawing, and I posted it and it went like crazy on the internet. Although a lot of the internet was like hating on it. They're like, "Oh my gosh, this is not art." And it's like, "Guys, this is a project. I just did a project." But I was the only person who did color. Like everyone else did like pencil. So I think that's what I think he wanted people to go outside the box. Like let's say he asked you to like paint an apple. I don't think he actually wanted an apple. Like yes, he wanted an apple, but like make the apple like surrealism. Make the apple blue. Make it more than just like an apple. I guess that's what he was trying to go for. Well, what he was trying to like push us to do. And now I think I'm more inclined to not ask to do things and just to do it. Like for example, I really do not like doing portraits, but I now have this idea that if I do a portrait, if I have to do a portrait, it's gonna be surrealism. I'm gonna make it interesting. Wait, the apple exactly something like that. That's like what he wants because he doesn't like boring art. So when like he would literally just like make what he asked, he would actually be sick to his stomach. He'd be like, "Come on, guys, like please." Like for our painting class, because I had him for my painting and my drawing class, so I had him back to back. I'm sure he was sick and tired of seeing me, because I have a pretty like strong personality. But yeah, like for we did a still life with an apple, right? And with my apple, I like wrapped a snake around it. I added like this like garden and all sorts of other things. And there was only two other people who did something else with their apple, which were my friends, and everyone else just kind of like did the still life, and it's just like, oh nah, guys, it's like boring. I can't do that. So I kind of think that's what he was going for. But yeah, I definitely understand now what he was like talking about. I think at the moment I'm like, sir, you need to chill out. Like, you need to sit down, drink your coffee, take a breather. I don't know, read a book, something. But yeah, I do wish I kind of understood it more in the moment. But yeah, he was cool. Like I would switch my whole um what's it called? My whole schedule if he was teaching again. But for this semester, so I have a figure painting class, and obviously it'll make me better at like drawing figures. I'm really excited for that class. Like I hope I walk out of that class like painting like a G. Like obviously like my paintings are good now, but like I can only imagine how good my figure drawing or paintings are gonna look after that class. And then so last semester I took a ceramics class and I loved it so much. I'm taking another ceramics class, but this time I'm taking wheel throwing. I realized I really like wheel throwing, but that's kind of just like a fun class. I'm debating on whether um if I'm gonna make like items to sell on my website, like more affordable items and like some of my paintings and stuff like that. So like if people did want to own like original things that I've made, then like yeah. I won't say what it is because like I'm not exactly sure if I'm gonna make it or not. And if I do, like it's there. But yeah, wheel throwing, and then I have like intermediate painting. One of my friends didn't get into it and I feel kind of bad for her. But I'm glad I got into it. I just think like for example, in our painting class, we were like painting on things that were probably like twice the size of this. And this is like a canvas pad, so we would have like, although on one of my paintings I did use a canvas pad because I didn't want to buy another I didn't want to buy another like canvas because what am I gonna do with a self-portrait of myself? I don't know. This is like something I didn't really want. So yeah, I'm super excited for that class. I feel like everything is gonna be super large scale, so I don't know how many projects we're gonna get out of that class. Because even in my painting class, that I had in the last fall semester, we didn't even get to all the projects. I think we only got to 1, 2, like 3. We started the 4th project when we had like 1 week left of school, and like nobody really finished. So yeah. I'm also still like unsure how I feel about. I need a self-portrait in my office, but my God. I don't know what to say to that. Yeah, I'm not really. Maybe that's. I don't know. It's just like I'm not too fond of like. I don't know. I just like. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. I don't really see anybody like purchasing like. Like, because when I make self portraits, like, I don't know. I didn't even finish it. Like, it's unfinished and it's in like my living room, and I'm just like, okay, am I gonna paint over it? But I don't know. I feel like since it's oil, it's a lot more effort to try to paint over it, and just like, if anything, I feel like I should either finish it or just leave it unfinished. I think painting over it would just be like a cracking disaster, in my opinion, because I'm like, okay, so how would I go over, like, yeah, you'd go over it with oil, but how much oil? And then like I would have to paint over the oil, but the oil is wet, and it's not like you can put like acrylic over oil, it'll crack, or like gesso over oil, it'll crack. So I don't know, I just kind of feel like it's like, and this is a pretty big canvas too, so I just feel like it's like a wasted canvas of like a self-portrait with me in a silly hat. I think I was so like out of it when I was creating the portrait. I just didn't even want to really try on it. So that's honestly on me. Like, I don't think it looks bad, but I think if I would have like done more with the self portrait, I could have definitely found value in like hanging it up. But I don't know. That's just not really my thing. But I think I've just recently gotten like actually enjoyed the process of drawing people and like painting people. Because I used to like this. Like, this used to be like agonizing for me. But I feel much better about it after taking like my figure drawing class. I think that's definitely like the class that helped my skills for being a better artist, because that was like an extreme weak point. I think like my painting class, yeah, I learned how to use oil paint, but I think I would have eventually got it on my own. Well, I could say the same thing with like figure. You say you really, you have talent to draw. Thank you. I tried painting a self portrait, but oh my, you know, it's so funny. As soon as you said like a Picasso, wait, hold on. Yeah, as soon as you said a Picasso face, it reminded me of like, because he has really, really nice like self portraits, and then he has like the ones that he just like abstracted. It's just like, yeah, that that's kind of how it was feeling with mine. It was like, oh my gosh, like my self portrait was stressing me out so bad. Like I made my forehead too big, I made my eyes too far apart. I looked crazy. But anyway, it's getting late now, guys. I'm gonna have to end stream. I'll be on sometime either. Should have spoken. That's crazy. I would have like say something. Like, give me something. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Please make sure you leave a like and subscribe and check out my website. And I will say I was bold and it was fun watching you paint. Yeah. I'll probably, honestly, I don't want to give you guys like a time of like when I'll be on, because I'm honestly not sure. I'm kind of just like, I just pop in and out on YouTube. So I hope you guys like have enjoyed it so far, but have a good night. Yeah, it was nice talking with you guys, and oh my gosh, I'm like so happy that you guys were like chatting in the live. So peace, and I'll see y'all